Resonance column experiment. Now this is an experimental setup which is used to determine the velocity of sound in laboratories. Now on which concept this is based? This is based on the concept of standing wave formation in a closed organ pipe, and closed organ pipe means a pipe in which one end is closed and other end is open, right? So let's talk a little bit about closed end organ pipe. So in a closed end organ pipe, the organ pipe looks something like this, and this kind of, let's say the length is L, and this organ pipe creates standing waves for not all frequencies of vibration, rather it creates for certain specific frequencies which are given by this formula 2n plus 1 into V by 4L. So this is the formula we use to find the frequencies, means which frequencies will create standing wave. So let's say we write it down. So F equals 2n plus 1 into V here is velocity of sound by 4L, and L is the length of the organ pipe. So if we use this relation, then we get F. So for n equals 0, we get F equals to V by 4L. So this is one of the frequencies. For n equals to 1, we get F equals 3V by 4L. So these are the frequencies which will create a standing wave in that organ pipe. Now let's just modify it a little bit. Let's just say that we keep frequency fixed, means we should get a standing wave of a particular frequency. Then what should be the length of the organ pipe? Let's just rearrange this formula now. If we rearrange this formula into this form, that what is L? L is 2n plus 1 into V by F. So if we put n equals 1, we will get L1 which is equals to V by this is 4F. So V by 4F. Similarly L2 equals to 3V by 4F. Similarly L3 will be equals to 5V by 4F. We are getting it by just putting the value of n. N0 we get L1, n equals to 1 we get L2, n equals 2 we get L3. So these are the lengths which will create a standing wave of a fixed frequency F. Now this concept which we discussed right now, this is used in determining the velocity of sound. Now let's go to the setup. So this is our setup. See here, we have two columns. This right side is our reservoir. So this is reservoir, and this one is used by why we use this one? We will, if we drag this reservoir vertically upward or downward, if we move it, then we can change the level of liquid on the left column, because both side water level will be same, right? So if we take downward, then this tube will be something like this, so water level might be changing. So the water level, to change the water level, we will move the reservoir upward or downward, and according to our need. Now initially what we will do, we will take a tuning fork of certain frequency, and for the tuning fork the frequency we will be knowing. So we know the F here, F is known. Initially the water level we will keep high, and we will vibrate the tuning fork and we will hold it above the open surface. Now gradually by moving it downward, we will gradually take the liquid level downward, and we will listen when we are getting a very high sound. The sounds, the level of sound, it will continuously increase. At one point we will get maximum sound. That maximum sound gives us the resonating condition, or the length of the tube at which we are getting a standing wave. So when we are getting a maximum sound, at that time we know that now there is a standing wave formation. So in this setup, just to the right of the our experimental tube, just to the right of it, there will be a meter scale, and the top of the meter scale will be exactly in aligned with the open end of the tube. So when we will see that okay, at this length we are getting a resonating frequency, that means this will give us the first length at which we are getting a standing wave, and that length we can get from here. Now we already know that during this kind of derivations, during this kind of calculations, we know the standing wave here, the displacement antinode, it doesn't exactly form displacement antinode or the pressure node, it doesn't exactly form on the open surface, right? It forms just a little bit above the open surface. So we have drawn here the diagram, and let's say the displacement antinode or the pressure node, it is E distance above the open end, and the length we are looking at, from the length we got from the meter scale, let's say that is L1. So from here we got to know that this L1 plus E will give us this length will give us the first standing wave formation criteria, right? So this L1 plus E will be equals to lambda by 4, which is the condition for the first standing wave. This is one equation we got. So let's write it, equation 1. Next what we will do, we will further lower it so that this water level will decrease, and we are doing the same experiment. We are vibrating the same tuning fork, and we are observing again at what length we will be getting the same sound again. So let's say the next length at which we get another high level sound, another resonating frequency, let's say that length from here is L2, and again there will be end correction here, we have to consider end correction. So the net length will be L2 plus E now. So now we will get L2 plus E, and this will give us the condition for next standing wave condition. So that will be 3 lambda by 4. So this will be equation 2. Now by solving these two equations, see, if we subtract these two equations, then we will get L2 minus L1. L2 minus L1 will be 3 lambda by 4 minus lambda by 4. So this is 3 lambda by 4 minus lambda by 4, which is lambda by 2. So from here we got wavelength lambda equals 2 into L2 minus L1. So from here we will get lambda, and we already know the frequency because we chose the tuning fork, right? And tuning fork's frequency is fixed. So F is already known to us. Now from the experimental setup we got lambda, F is already known to us. So V is the formula, we have formula F lambda. From here we will get velocity of sound. So this is the experimental setup. Now if this question is asked in any JEE exam, they may ask you the end correction also, or they may ask you at what height from the open end there will be a pressure node or a displacement antinode, like that. So how to know that? From these two equations we can find E also. How? Let's multiply 3 in the first equation. So we will get 3L1 plus 3E equals 3 lambda by 4, which is also equals to L2 plus E, right? So 3L1 plus 3E equals L2 plus E, or we get 2E equals L2 minus 3L1, or end correction E equals L2 minus 3L1 by 2. This is a formula for end correction also, but we won't need formula always, because once we get lambda we can put the value of lambda in first equation or the second equation. But this is one of the formula that can be used directly. But while solving problem, I will suggest that you use this lambda. Once you get the lambda, put this lambda value here, you will get the value of end correction easily. So this is the experimental setup.